Good morning, friends. I realized that on our last videos that we didn't really introduce ourselves in some of the last videos. So I thought I would start. I'm Michelle. My husband is Chris. He has MS and uses a wheelchair. And this is Able Journey. And the reason that we call it Able Journey is because over the last 11 years that we've been married, we've really been trying to figure out how to make everything able for Chris in our journey together. So that's kind of where the name came from. And then also folding into that, realizing that I am also able to do things that I never really thought that I could. For instance, gardening. If you know my family and friends, you know that I'd always told them that I have a black thumb and I could never grow anything. So I'm learning that a green thumb is grown and you're not born with it. I'd always admired people who could grow things and grew their own food and grew flowers and all of that. And so I'm realizing that it is something that I can do. I didn't even start it until I was 50 years old. So like people say, you are never too old to learn something new. So today I am going to finish the green stalks that I had started with all of the herbs and tea flowers and things like that I'm planning on growing this year. So I have 4 green stalks for that, herbs of all sorts. And I also got 2 new green stalks, one for strawberries and one for lettuce. Those came in, so I probably won't build those today, but maybe probably build them next week. And then today is party prep day. So I'm going to take you along with me as I get things ready for our Italian dinner party. Today is all about prep. So I'll be putting together the lasagna and putting that in the fridge so that can just be cooked tomorrow. I'll go ahead and get the veggies prepped. I have a list. So I have a list of things to get done today. But first, we don't have a home health aide today, so I get to be the one to get Chris up and ready for the day. And then I also need to do my normal morning stuff, getting all the animals fed and morning chores, all that kind of stuff. So I'm grateful that I get to take you along on my day today. Okay, I am going to get started on my green stalks. Now, I've already planted out 3 of them, and most of the ones on the bottom 3 of these of that green stalk is going to be ones that I'm going to transplant that I've seed started inside. So I'm really just going to do the top 2, chamomile and calendula, in these top 2 ones, and I'm going to go ahead and put more soil into the others as well, and then water it all down real good. So that is the plan for right now. I'm really excited about the season. I think I've said that probably repeatedly, but I guess being my 3rd year, I feel like I've learned a lot over the last few years, or last 2 years, and I'm just really excited that I've had success with it. I think I've mentioned before that I always joked with people that I had a black thumb, and somebody told me that green thumbs are grown and you're not born with it. So that was encouraging. So I'm going to grab these. I don't know if you're like me, but I love watching cooking and gardening YouTube channels. So those are my favorite. What are some of the favorites that you watch? I'd love to know. See if there's more people I should be following on YouTube. So I think the bottom three that I have over here are going to be, if I remember correctly, lavender, bee balm, and lemon balm, I think. So that's what I have started indoors, along with a bunch of other things. But just closer. So that's what's going to be on the bottom three. And then these top two are calendula and chamomile. And I think I have more of that in these as well. But I drew out the plan for these green stalks in my journal, or my planner. So I know what's in each one. I was going to just label each one, but I figured I would just name the towers, and then I have it in my journal, and I don't have to label each one. I found that label, putting little stake labels inside each one of these, it kind of gets lost, and I end up turning it around and missing it and all that. So I always have my journal nearby. So I'll just flip to that page, and if I need to, see what's in it, and that is good enough for me. All right, so I think this is good enough. Like I said, these are going to have transplants into them, so that is good enough. Try to be careful about lifting things nowadays since helping Chris get into the lift and moving him around and stuff also requires my strength. A few years back, I think it was either 2020 or 2021, I had shoulder surgery, and off the top of my head, I cannot remember what they called it, but basically it was like a weightlifter's type of injury is what the orthopedic doctor said. Now, I don't lift Chris. I probably could never lift him, but I do a lot of, moving and things like that. So he was surprised that I had a weightlifter type injury, and then I told him what I do as a caregiver, and he said, "Oh, that makes sense." So I try to be careful about lifting things now. I'm trying to protect my shoulders and whatnot, protect my health all the way around. So I try to not overdo it. But garden bags are not, bags of soil and things like that are not light. Okay, so this is the three bottom ones that I'll end up transplanting into. Okay. And then these I'm going to seed start in. Let's do this. That worked. Just gonna mix up the top layer of what's in here a little bit. I don't want to disturb it too much because I've got a good healthy soil in here. I'm just going to top it off. That should do it. Okay. I'm going to take that one glove off, stick my water thing in here, and we will make this the calendula. And it said, I got instructions, I can't remember what website, but for calendula it said to put 2 or 3 seeds per pocket in here. So that's what I will do. Might not be more, but I will just be thinning them out as needed. Okay. Get these buried down in here. Did have calendula seeds in another one. Might have been the ones I have on the other side. But they're very interesting seeds. They're little curly seeds, so that's pretty cool looking. Okay, I think we got them all in. Should have put my glove back on first. All right, so that one is in. Then my last one here. Let's get all this so I can. All right. I got stuff everywhere, but that's okay. What's gardening if you can't make a little bit of a mess, right? And then for the chamomile, it said 8 to 12 seeds per pocket. And they are super tiny. So there's no way I can count them, but we're just going to kind of wing it. It's probably going to be on the lower side each. And I'm going to have to just do the rest of what I have here. So we're just going to sprinkle in each pocket. Well, I might have a few left over. Or not with the wind. All right. Okay. And that is the chamomile. And I'm going to put this water bin on top, fit them into the slots there. Okay. And then my last step is I'm going to water these in. If you have GreenStalks and you don't yet have these lids, I highly recommend them. I am going to enjoy it very much for this coming summer when it is June bug season, because it was pretty gross picking out the June bugs out of the little holes this past year. So that was wild. Well, welcome to the next day. I did not get a chance to start prepping for the birthday party yesterday, so we're going to do that today. I have my list of things that I'm going to get done today, and we're just going to jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and prep the lasagna. I'm going to go ahead and mix everything up and just kind of get it ready right now. I'm going to use these disposable pans. That way any of the kids can just go ahead and take home any leftovers, and I don't have to worry about any dishes or anything. I think I'll do 2 of them. So these will be for the lasagnas, and then we're also going to have chicken parmesan. And I think I will do probably just do spaghetti with it, with the chicken parmesan. So we're going to go ahead and get these started. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the cheese filling done. All right, so just got whole milk ricotta cheese from HEB. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump that right in. that in here and break it apart real quick. That we're going to add our egg. Add this to the compost. All right, so looks like I need to fill up my salt, but we should have plenty for this. Just about a teaspoon. Whoop. Going in. Go. And then just a little bit of pepper here, maybe about a quarter teaspoon. And then about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I just blend my own, and that way have a whole lot more for pennies. There we go. And then we're just gonna blend this up real quick, mix it up real quick. Right now we're just going to assemble, I'm just gonna assemble the lasagnas and put them in the refrigerator. And that way later today, right before, about an hour and a half or so before dinner, we will get these into the oven and get to cooking. Now we're gonna start assembling our lasagna. So I do not have homemade marinara sauce, but I love this Rouse homemade marinara. The ingredients are very simple. Just Italian whole peeled tomatoes, olive oil, onion, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, and oregano. I can pronounce every single one of those things. All right, so I'm gonna put a little layer of the marinara on the bottom, and that's gonna help keep things from sticking. Now I'm just gonna spread it out all over the bottom to make a nice layer on the bottom of the pan. I can't remember if I talked about it already, but we used to, these past few years, just take the kids out on their birthdays with all their loved ones, girlfriends, wives, things like that, and go out to a restaurant to eat. And man, that was becoming super expensive. And I like cooking, so this year we're changing it. So for birthdays, they're going to tell me what kind of foods they want to eat for the meal. So my January baby, he chose Italian, obviously, and so that is what we're going to do. So they have a choice between, you know, anything they can think of, really, because I'd love to try something new too. Italian, Tex-Mex, Mexican, comfort foods, any kind of Asian flair, whatever they can think of. I would love to expand my horizons and try new things too. So anyway, so we got the marinara down here. And so then these are oven ready lasagna noodles, obviously store-bought. So we're going to do a layer of these noodles here. Yeah, that's a perfect fit. That's going to work out really good. Right, a layer of the noodles. And then we're going to put some of the cheese mix in here. And spread that out. The one thing I like about lasagna is it is definitely mistake friendly. So you just throw it all together, and by the time you sit down to eat, nobody can tell if things got mixed up or weren't put in here exactly correct, right? I forgot to get the mozzarella shredded, so we're going to get that done right now. not big chunk. Made a whole lot of shredded Parmesan and no funky additives to keep it from, you know, sticking together and clumping and all that kind of thing. So that is wonderful. So now we're going to do a nice layer of mozzarella over this. And I may need to do another chunk, grate that up, but that is just fine because I have plenty. Okay, and then we're gonna do another layer of marinara and then do the whole, all these steps all over again. All right, I already have Parmesan chopped up, so all I need is more mozzarella, and I had some left over in a little baggie, so I think I'll use that up first. Today is so windy outside. The chickens seem to be loving it. They keep going around and flapping their wings, and seems like they're enjoying the wind out there. Okay, and now for the Parmesan. For the GreenStalks, since it's so windy, I had to take half of them down so that they didn't blow over like they did before. I would probably cry if they fell over now with all the work I put into seeding them with all the herbs and everything. So hopefully getting them half down, probably taking each individual one down probably would have been smarter, but I think they're well blocked at this point. They seem to be fine. All right, so now we have our, see if you can see, 2 lasagnas here. So that's going to be wonderful. I'm just going to cover these. And put them in the fridge. And later this afternoon, we will take them out and get them in the oven. All right, so now I'm going to start on my Parmesan chicken. And what we're going to do is go ahead and beat up 3 eggs. That goes in my compost bowl. I'm trying to get better at compost. Kind of a lazy composter. So I have a pile that is in the chicken yard, and that way the chickens can peck through it, they can poop in it, and they can mix it up for me. And then I just water it every so often and just give it time. All right, we're gonna get these beaten up so we can dredge our chicken through it. All right, I made 3 cups of breadcrumbs, which I made my own breadcrumbs back in June, and I vacuum sealed them in here. So I'm just gonna give them a sniff test to make sure they smell like they should. Yep, smells like bread. We're gonna add our Parmesan to it, about a cup, which is probably most of this. We're just gonna go with it. Just do the whole thing. Some salt, about a teaspoon of salt. About a teaspoon of pepper. Not go crazy. And a couple of teaspoons of garlic powder. Nobody ever complains around here about too much garlic. And then a couple of teaspoons of Italian seasoning. That looks good. Whoops. We'll give this a good mix and all its yummy goodness. So I had to run to the store today because I could have sworn I had chicken breasts in the freezer, but apparently I did not. I even wrote down everything I had in that deep freezer. I think that I had shown you guys the freezer a couple of videos ago. I wrote everything down that was in that freezer, and I still, in my brain, said I had chicken breasts in there, but I did not. So this morning I ran to the store close by to get some. I hate having to do that. No big deal. Can't complain. First world problems, right? So, okay, I think that is good. So now we're just going to dip the chicken in the egg mixture, in the bread mixture, and then we're going to lay it out here on the pan. All right, well, here we go. I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for done. I know it's for a birthday party, but my kids know me well enough to know that, you know, things aren't going to be perfect, but they are going to be yummy. So as long as they like the foods, right? So that is the goal here today. All right, here are the breaded chickens for the chicken parmesan. All right, I've got the counter all cleaned up, and we are going to actually get started on our cupcakes. So I messaged my son and asked him what he would like, and he as for a dessert, and he said chocolate cupcakes. So we're going to get started on that. So the first thing I've done, I've already gone ahead and preheated my oven to 350, and so we are going to go ahead and get our muffin pan. I got these Paper Chef parchment baking cups, and I got these from Azure Standard. I bought them in bulk, and they have been absolutely fantastic. All right, I'm just going to give the flour a little fluff up so that it's not all compact. All right. One. This is a half cup measure. So that's 1. 1.5. And that's 1 3/4. We need our cocoa. I buy the cocoa from Azure Standard as well. And we need a 1/2 cup of cocoa. And then baking powder, we need 2 teaspoons. So 1, 2. And then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Go. Okay, then into our wet bowl, we are going to beat our sugar and butter together. So 1.5 cups of sugar, and we have 6 tablespoons here of butter, softened butter. All right, so we're going to blend this until it's nice and fluffy. So the next thing is we're going to add our eggs one at a time. Yes, 2 eggs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack them into this bowl, since we're putting it straight into the food, and just to make sure they're okay. and put my shells in the compost. All right. Now we're going to give this a good mix. Get these sides. Now we're going to add some vanilla. And this is where I can do vanilla from the heart. Now we're going to add this all in and give it a good mix. Oh, one other thing is the milk. So we are going to do 1/4 cup of whole milk powder. And I get this from Azure Standard. And what I did is I put the instructions on the back here. So whether I want to make a gallon or just a cup, I have all the instructions so I can remember how much goes into it. So for 1 cup of water is 1/4 cup of milk powder. So use my water that I've already filtered. And give it a good whisk. All right. Some of the milk. That is looking beautiful and smells chocolatey amazing. Okay, so that is, you can see that, our chocolate cupcake. Okay, so to make this a little easier, I'm going to use my ice cream scoop. It says it makes 16. I'm just going to do 12. I don't have a smaller, I guess I could probably make mini cupcakes with the remainder of it, but I think for today, 12 is enough, and that is all I'm actually going to do. So today's my son's birthday. It's been quite a year this past year for him. Of course, we're just coming out of the holidays, so and then he also graduated from college this past December as well, so that is exciting. I had another son that graduated over the summer. One of my son's girlfriends also graduated last year, so last year was a very exciting graduation kind of year. I'm very proud of all of them. If you see me keep looking out the windows, which is basically behind you as you're sitting at my kitchen table right now, the wind is incredibly intense, and I keep seeing things just fly by. But the weather looks like it's clearing up, so hopefully the wind will calm down here soon. Earlier it was really gray and cloudy and just kind of looked kind of nasty outside. But now you can see the blue sky and fluffy white clouds, so hopefully that crazy wind will be stopping soon. Maybe we'll make like a tiny chocolate cake. Have these little mini loaf pans. Let's see what we can do with it. Make a little mini chocolate cake. I have quite the dishes pile going on over here. Okay, so now we are just going to get these popped into the oven, and we're just going to keep going with our steps. All right, I am running a little behind, but that is okay because we can still get this all done in time. The next thing I'm going to do is prep the veggies and things for the salad. Yeah, I'm not going to chop the lettuce just yet. I don't want it to brown by the time dinner is ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all the other things put together. After I cleaned up a little bit, I did go ahead and cut up the broccoli and green beans. So those are already chopped and ready for sides, but now I'm going to chop onions, tomatoes, things like that for the salad, and also go ahead and wash the salad or wash the lettuce. So here we go. I will probably run them through again after I get them chopped, but this will be a good first. So there was an exciting thing that happened or that came in the mail the other day, and I bought a bargain box of seeds. So I'm assuming they're probably like older seeds that they didn't sell from a previous year. So there's no guarantees on them. I got them the box super cheap. They said it would be at least 20 packs of seeds in the box, and I think I didn't count them all, but probably there was about 50. So there was everything from corn to yellow watermelon, zinnias, like giant zinnias, different herbs, turnips, beets, all kinds of things. I'll start as many as I can. There was a lot. I'm also part of a take a plant, leave a plant thing in the city next to us. So I will also share with them and just let them know that they're like older seeds and whatnot. So all this store-bought stuff just makes me even more excited for gardening season. So hopefully I can start growing enough to last a whole year and then do it all over again the next year. So I have a baggie in the freezer. It's pretty full for all my onion stuffs. So this is a very juicy onion. All right. Let's get this into the baggie. I have this baggie, and I think I have another one. No, I think I have two in the freezer also. So I should be making stock soon. All right. And we just got all of these onions just chopped. And then we'll wash these and get some of those ready. So I think we've got all the prep done that we are going to get done for now. I'm going to wait on the cake to come out. So now I'm really just going to clean up the area, clean up the living room where everybody's going to be hanging out, tables and all that, and get everything organized and ready. And then about in a few minutes after that, I'll start pulling things out to start cooking. Yay, getting things done. I'm excited about this. This is the first time I've really done something like this since they've been grown and out of the house. And that was my timer on the cake. So let's see how we did. It's coming out clean. All right, I'm excited about our tiny little cake. Okay, tiny cake coming out to cool down. Then we'll pop that out. I'm going to pop the cupcakes out of the muffin tin and get those cooling. I'm going to clean up, and then we will start getting everything prepared and cooked up and ready for tonight. I'm excited. So I realized I forgot to record doing the breadsticks. So what I've done so far is I've gotten all the prep work done, and I took out the lasagna and the chicken parm to let it the chill come off of it, and now the lasagna is in the oven. I've got the bread dough rising for the breadsticks, so I'm just working all of this in as best as possible. So that is going on right now, and I will get back to recording as I'm finishing everything up here soon. So that didn't get on the video because I kind of freaked out a little bit and started it really quickly because I was afraid that I wasn't going to have time, but I think everything's going to work into the schedule beautifully, and the breadsticks will be done right at dinner time. So fingers crossed. And I still have the to make the frosting for the cupcakes and the mini cake too. So it's getting down to the wire, but we're getting it done.